WWE 2K16. This is the second WWE game on the PS4 and Xbox One. As you can see, Steve Austin is the cover star this year. I like the cover, it's not that bad. I mean, it does look miles better than WWE 2K15's cover. And no, I'm not saying that because John Cena's on it, I just didn't like how it looked, even when I saw it the first time. But speaking of WWE 2K15, it wasn't exactly a great beginning for next-gen wrestling games. But I can forgive 2K games and simply move on. The main menu looks similar to last year. You'll see pictures of wrestlers and divas on the options button again, which works fine. It's colourful and really catches the eye. I think it's much better this year for sure. Another thing that is much better this year is the soundtrack. Sure, I did mute some songs, but I didn't have to mute so much this year, and you can now use wrestlers and divas theme songs again, which is a giant positive as far as the soundtrack goes. It's awesome to hear Adam Rowe's theme song in the main menu, and then hearing a non-WWE theme song like It's Tricky, and even a song from Marilyn Manson, which was unexpected, but really cool. Create a wrestler. It is much better this year compared to last year. It has more options to go even further when creating a wrestler. Create a wrestler does have its annoyances, such as the long loading times as you choose between different clothing, and the custom logos can look very blurry at times. But luckily, I'm able to look past that. The Create a Wrestler also has face deformation, in which you can move their facial features around, which can be quite amusing because the results can end up rather interesting. But this does help out a lot. You can also click each aspect of the face and you'll see this. Whatever red dot you are on, you can move each red dot around to edit their face even more. It was a little confusing at first, but I quickly got the hang of it after an hour of creating my wrestler. It can pass a lot of time when you really get into it. As you choose your clothing, you'll see that you can change the material of it now. I'm quite surprised this hasn't been in all along, but better late than never. I have to say, the Create a Wrestler is not that bad this year. I like it for what it is, and with the amazing wrestlers I've seen on Community Creations, it's clear that we can go much further in WWE 2K16. I'd also like to point out, they finally put my name in the name list. After all these years of wanting my name in there, it's finally there. Of course, I have to talk about Create a Diva. I still beg the question on how the hell they couldn't get this feature in last year. But hey, it's here now, so what's it like? Well, in terms of clothing, it doesn't offer much. I'm sure you can still create whoever you want, but still, looking at the Create a Wrestler and Create a Diva, it would be nice to see an equal amount of clothing between the two. It still has face templates, skin color, custom logos, face deformation, and more. So if you are a female and you want to create yourself, I'm very sure you can do that. Overall, I'm happy with the Create a Diva. Plus with the small roster for the divas, you can always create tons more and fill up that roster. I gotta give a shout out to the people who created Becky Lynch and Lita. And Lita is already DLC. But when you have Create a Wrestlers and divas looking this good, who needs it? I'm happy with the tools I have when creating people. I can't complain. Sure, we had it better in the past, but this is not bad at all. You can create a custom championship or edit a real-life title. Editing a real-life title is a feature you may not use for that long. You can choose a title, change the color, change the material, give it a pattern, and add logos. It's a simple feature really, and doesn't have much to it, but I think most people will prefer creating a custom championship from scratch, as it has much more to play around with. I think it will help out a lot for Universe mode. Maybe you want to create your own show and have its own championship in there. Choose a template for the title, choose the plate design, and choose the strap designs. You can then change the color of the plate along with material and add a logo for it. What's also great is you can use the custom logos and place them on the belt, so if you want to create a title from another wrestling company, you can get very close to resembling those titles. I think I'll be mostly downloading titles rather than creating them, but if I feel like creating a title, then at least I know I can go pretty far with this mode. Create a show. At first, I thought Story Designer was returning, but no, sadly that is not in this year. Create a show lets you create your own graphics for the shows. This can be useful for Create an Arena too. Let's say you want to create an indie arena, well, you can now use their graphics in the game, such as the show logo, matchup screen, nameplates, and so on. When I heard about it for the first time, it didn't catch my interest, and now that I've played around with it, it is useful, but saying that, it still doesn't interest me that much. I don't really care seeing a TNA graphic show up, or whatever company outside of WWE. But hey, it's there. Create an arena. I still dislike calling it Create an Arena, as you are essentially designing pre-made building blocks. There, I said it. In the past, I would download Create Arenas, because there are people out there that can create really cool stuff, and that's exactly what I've done in this game. For those people who love the creation side of this game, I think you will enjoy creating whatever arena you'd like to make. It is similar to the past too, so I didn't have trouble creating arena. I felt right at home with this feature. You can also choose the venue size, choose a modern crowd or a crowd from the 90s, or from other promotions such as WCW and ECW. Choose your lighting, choose a screen filter, and if you want an 80s feel, then go for it. But if you want a head start, then choose an arena template. So, create an arena in 2K16. What do I think about it overall? Well, it's what I expected, so I wasn't disappointed. I even added ECW to my universe mode and plan to have an ECW roster soon. Yep, I'm a geek. Deal with it. Speaking of WWE Universe, what is it like? Well, back in the good old days when we had SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, WWE Universe was a new feature that I barely cared about. Even hearing about it from the developers before I had the game just didn't catch my interest. Over the years, it has slowly grown on me. But you know what? I found myself really interested with the W Universe in WWE 2K16. I really did. I'm constantly updating it, giving superstars and divas new attires, changing their crowd reaction, creating rivalries, and checking WWE.com in universe mode. I don't know why, but this year I find it very enjoyable. This is the first WWE game where I am fully enjoying WWE Universe. I'm not forcing myself to like it either, I actually like it. It took 5 years for me to fully enjoy this, but like I always say, better late than never. I can't tell how much it changed from WWE 2K15 because I didn't go near it that much in that game, but if I was better at reviewing video games, I would have made an effort. Hey, sue me. I hope I continue to enjoy WWE Universe, but at least for now, I'm enjoying it. A little side note here, but last year, 2K Showcase didn't go so well for me. It pissed me off, like a lot. I was playing it with my friend Extreme's Edge, and yes, we didn't have a fun time. At least most of the time, we didn't. Sure, there were aspects I liked, but overall, it wasn't that fun. It was more annoying than fun. Trust me, Extreme's Edge knows what I'm talking about. 2K16 Showcase Mode is all about Stone Cold Steve Austin. It plays out exactly like 2K15's Showcase Mode, and you'll play matches that happened in reality. You have objectives to do in the match, so you can recreate real-life events in the game. Simple. I will say the Showcase Mode itself didn't piss me off as much as last year, but saying that, my interest as I was playing through this was quite low. I felt quite bored, and I'll come right out and say it, I didn't really want this mode to return, because they didn't do a good job at it in the first place, so I was a little disappointed that it did return. I wanted something completely new and different, but this isn't new and different. Yeah, new story, but you're doing the same thing. It has quick time events, objectives to do. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but we've been doing this stuff since WWE 12. So, come on, change it up a little bit. Plus, it has only one showcase mode this year, not two. Why? Who knows? But honestly, I don't really care. But we did get this, a feature that should not have been included, because this annoyed me. And that is putting it lightly. The things you have to complete in special objectives are ridiculous. One of them was completing 3 Royal Rumble matches. I mean, what does this have to do with the showcase mode? I thought showcase mode was supposed to be a history lesson or a documentary style story mode. Either way, is this really teaching anything? But the one thing that did make me want to throw my controller out the window and just smash it on the ground outside is this match. Steve Austin versus Bret Hart in a submission match. I wish I knew how many sharpshooters I actually performed on Austin, because this went on longer than it should have. This match lasted an hour and a half, when really, this should have been 10 to 15 minutes. But nope, an hour and a half. I had to try over and over and over again until I finally defeated him. And I barely defeated him. I have to ask, what was the point to all this? What is the point of special objectives? Plus, I was playing as Bret Hart so I could make Austin tap out. I don't get it. As far as the special objectives go, it was a waste of my time. The showcase mode itself wasn't that entertaining, and I tried to enjoy it, but even Steve Austin himself cannot be entertaining all the time. My career returns for the second time. You will take part in interviews, start rivalries, get up higher in the ranks, and you keep going until you reach the Hall of Fame. Typical stuff, really. It also feels very similar to last year, but with a few new additions. The Authority are featured in the mode, and you can be on their side or not, which will affect your career. Apparently, this career mode expands greatly from last year, and while it does have some new additions, it didn't feel different that much. It was still very dull at times, and you get a lot of interviews, and seeing my guy talk is creepy.
Hey, this is all part of the business. People are gonna try and take what I got, but I'm ready to go to battle again.
I felt that they went overboard on the interviews, and over time it became less and less fun to watch. Some cutscenes are recycled, I've noticed, even borrowing some from WWE Universe, and I saw this, which I think is meant to be a video package for your rivalry. It gives you some pictures in sepia, which looks odd and looks similar to the video package you get in SmackDown vs. Raw 08, except that was a video and this is just pictures. I don't know why they like the sepia filter so much, but it doesn't come across very well. The rivalry system doesn't make sense at times. For example, I was in a rivalry with Tyler Breeze, and then a few short weeks later, we were on each other's side. All I saw was this message letting me know Tyler and I were on the same page, and I was confused by this, because this happened out of nowhere, and I had to ask, how did this come about? This also happened with other rivalries as well. You know, I actually thought this was a sequel to last year, but you begin the same way, being in the Performance Center, and then getting a shot in NXT, and then eventually getting to the bigger shows like SmackDown or Raw. It's almost like they wanted to retry making career mode better, but I still think it's lackluster. Yes, we all see different though, so some people may find this mode really fun and a big improvement from last year, but for me, I just don't see that. The showcase mode and career mode for me this year was not for me. In WWE 2K17, I want something completely different. The graphics do look like it has been changed. It looks more colourful, which can actually make the game look cartoonish, and even a little downgraded, which is not an issue for me, because I really don't care. Saying that, it does look similar to 2K15 in many ways, which was expected. They did add cool little details though, like new hair physics, which looks great. I thought it would be a glitchy mess, but I haven't seen that at all. Clothing even wrinkles and moves around more naturally. Other cool details like having JBL's hat and announce table is a really nice touch. It also has physics, so you can kick it around. The Timekeepers area has people there like Lillian Garcia just like last year. The aprons have those new LED aprons, and the crowd is getting more and more realistic each year. But the one aspect I really wanted to check out this year was the gameplay. I was really interested in seeing how the gameplay would change this year, since last year was... yeah. You get it. When I played 2K16 for the first time, I saw and felt the differences quickly. These games are getting more and more simulated, and WWE 2K16 simply continues that. Some people will like that, others will not. For me, I understand where these games are headed, and like a lot of games today, it's all about realism. And 2K16 is no different. If I had one word to describe the gameplay, it would be faster. Stomping on your opponent is faster, climbing the turnbuckles have new and faster animations, and Irish whipping feels better too. Not just that, but it also has features to help make the gameplay more realistic, like limited reversals. I wasn't too sure about this when I heard about it for the first time, but surprisingly it works well. I found myself playing the game much differently than the past because of this. I now let my opponent beat the crap out of me until I have enough reversals, so I could have my turn and beat the crap out of him. So it does feel much more fair and less one-sided. You can turn this off, but I like to keep it on. Another feature I like is a new pinfall system. You now have this circle. I didn't mind the old system, but I prefer this system, and I for one hope they don't remove it anytime soon. It does take some getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, you might prefer this system than the older one. One feature I really wanted gone was the submission system. You have this. You are the blue bar, while your opponent is the red. Everybody's saying it's like cat and mouse, which I agree. The red must stay in the blue until this red meter fills up the whole circle. This does have one problem. Anytime I am the red, I can't seem to be able to get the blue. Sure, I'm able to kick out of the system with ease, but when I'm trying to make my opponent tap out, forget about it. But just because I'm terrible at it, I will still say it is still a big improvement for the most part. The gameplay is also more difficult. There were times I thought I had the match won, but then my opponent would kick out. I also had to play on normal difficulty for a while, so I can practice getting better at the game. And when I did beat my opponent on legend difficulty, it felt rewarding. If you are a newcomer to this game, I suggest you stay away from the legend difficulty for a while, as you will get your ass kicked. Sorry if that offends you, but hey, I got my ass kicked, so join the club. Also, I've noticed something that a lot of wrestlers and divas do a lot, and that is this. The animation is a bit long, and with that, every person on the roster does this a few times in a match, which gets repetitive. I have to ask, why does everybody have this hold? Plus, why does it happen too often? It does not ruin the gameplay completely, but it is annoying having to wait until the animation stops. I will also say playing the game is not for everybody. The game is very ring-based, and there's not much to do outside of it, like no backstage areas to fight in, no cool animations near the crowd, such as taking a weapon from them, or throwing your opponent into the crowd. There are animations outside, but it's not much, and you will have to find your fun inside the ring, because breaking the announce table over 1,000 times doesn't do it for me. But saying that, I am completely aware of where these games are headed, and that is nothing but pure realism. So I just try to play matches like real life matches, which I find fun. Am I boring? Probably. But hey, it keeps me coming back to the game, so I think that is a positive. Sure, I would like if they added silly stuff back, but before WWE 2K15, we were begging for WWE games to look like this and play like this. I was one of those people begging for that, and now that I have it, I'm enjoying it. But who knows what's in the future, and hopefully I'm still interested in buying the games. But WWE 2K16 gameplay is a big improvement from last year. It can be glitchy, which I have come to deal with when it comes to WWE games, but for me I mostly see glitches happen in matches with weapons. If anything, I love seeing glitches because they can be quite amusing. The commentary is what I expected, and it's pretty much the same as what we've been getting in the last few years. But that is okay because again, I expected that. They do say or create a wrestler's name though, which is a nice touch. JBL is on commentary for WWE 2K16, but if he wasn't there, it wouldn't make a difference. I get that this is his first time back since SVR 08, but he didn't say as much as Cole and King, which I can understand because they've been doing lines for years, so they have more to offer. So overall, WWE 2K16 is a fun wrestling game for me, at least for the most part. It has a lot of stuff in there that I like. Universe mode, create a diva, no loading between entrances, JBL's hat, and more. Letdowns were mostly from 2K Showcase and Career mode. I didn't like both of them in 2K15, and I still don't like them in 2K16. I really do want to see something different next time, but if we don't get something new, well, I hope the third time is the charm. The gameplay is a big improvement from last year, with features such as limited reversals, which makes the match more fair. And if you want a realistic and simulated wrestling game, this is probably the best you can get. I've had great matches already in this game, and I hope to see more great matches as I play WB 2K16 until the inevitable WB 2K17. Well, thank you very much for watching my review, and if you want to give your thoughts on the game, please do leave a comment down below. And also, before I go, I will not be uploading any more videos on this channel, but if you want to check out future game reviews, please click here to subscribe to my new channel, and if you don't want to click there, well, I guess this is a goodbye from Wrestling Union. So please, take care.